voted members from the Church of Eternal Providence visiting from beautiful Danville, Nebraska. Found our hate mailers.
We got permits for the sidewalk. I'm waiting for one of them to step over it so I can shut them up.
In New York City, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. These are their stories.
All right, folks, welcome to Munch My Benson. This week, like every week, we're going to take a long look into the bizarre and often dark world of Law & Order SVU, the longest-running scripted primetime drama of all time. My name's Adam. I'm coming from Galveston, Texas. It is warm here, but actually somewhat pleasant. The temperature dropped a degree or two. I'm guessing where you are, it's slightly less pleasant right now, Josh. How's it going out there?
Well, the temperature has been okay. The air quality is, and we're talking about Los Angeles here. The air quality is the worst it has been in 30 years.
Huh.
So that's pretty delightful.
Huh.
It's pretty crazy going outside, wearing a mask even, but of course it's not a respirator mask or anything like that. Wearing a mask, and I was outside for maybe a total of 2 hours on Tuesday, and my throat was fucked up for a solid 3 days after. I thought that I knew that it had to be from being outside because there's so much smoke in the air. Right now, we've got the Bobcat and El Dorado fires going on. Bobcat's by Pasadena, and then El Dorado's further east in the Inland Empire or San Bernardino County. And so there's a shitload of fires that are within a 100-mile radius, maybe even 75-mile radius. And all of that smoke is getting trapped beneath the smog, it seems. Not that it wouldn't be in the air anyway, but it's looked like it's permanently overcast for, a solid week now. It's sort of, it's just one more fucking terrifying thing.
Is it like that old school smog look where you can't see the Santa Monica Mountains even though they're a quarter mile away from your house?
They're obstructed.
Yeah.
You can still see them, but the smog's, it's thick. Well, I can see them, but I live very, very fucking close to the observatory.
Yeah.
You can see it from my bathroom. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's gross. And you think you have coronavirus because your throat's so jacked up when you go outside.
See, I've had that a few times. There's a grain terminal in Galveston, and when they load grain onto the ship, there's a giant plume of dust that comes out. Now, one thing that can explode, but also, it just feels like your whole... It happened in 1978 here, but it feels like your whole throat is seizing up when you start inhaling the grain dust. And there's been 3 times over the summer where I thought, I was like, oh shit, my throat's getting tight. My chest is seizing up. What's going on here? And it was just a fucking grain ship. Well, so I guess you've been stuck inside. Have you been watching anything?
I haven't really had much chance to watch stuff. We finished For All Mankind. It was okay. We watched Legend of Billie Jean.
Nice. That's fun.
We finished I May Destroy You, which was really good.
I don't know
the ending, it's an HBO show.
Okay.
The ending was obtuse, I guess, is probably the last episode's pretty weird.
Faded into the mists, sort of.
Jack thought it was good.
Huh, nice.
Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes of Law & Order CI last night, which was pretty fun. It's on the Peacock. Yeah, so I watched the, I would describe it as Neil Patrick Harris Cannibal. I watched that episode, which is a fun one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I also watched another one that had Austin Pendleton as a Stephen Hawking wheelchair-bound physicist who poisons one of his colleagues with a radioactive isotope. That one was fun because it featured one of the first sort of non-comedy performances from Asif Manvi, but also it had the FBI guy from The Wire, Doug O'Lear, as a radiation technician. So just kind of a fun little Wire crossover there.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that he wasn't just an FBI agent, right?
Well, seriously. But, maybe he was just working as that as he was finishing up his coursework to finally join the FBI, something like that. But that's about it. Otherwise, I take care of a child and a dog and I struggle to complete the most mundane tasks. You know, if I can actually fold laundry that I've washed that day, it's a fucking miracle right now.
Right on. Right on.
But enough about that. We had one of those episodes of Law & Order SVU where there's I think a lot to talk about.
A ton to talk about. I have almost 5 pages of notes. I'm on to a 5th page.
So I think we should just get to this thing.
Yeah, we should get into it. I wrote this recap after realizing that the recap was mine this week. I sort of like helped out and did the recap last week and then had it in my head, well, I just did the recap, so I don't have it now. I have it. So I had to watch this episode 3 times. The 3rd time I did a very quick haphazard recap, so here's that.
Oh, I was going to say, first off, I should say that we're watching Abomination. That's episode 8, season 5.
This is a weird one.
Yeah.
Okay, so a terrible crossing guard leads a slew of Midtown brats past a body wrapped in silk sheets and discarded amongst some trash drums, which brings Benson and Stabler to the scene. CSU brings back evidence that points to our Vic being gay. Our trusty Super New York gay bar bouncer pegs the Vic as a poster boy, and in this case, he's the poster boy of the ex-gay movement Regenesis. A quick trip to Regenesis tells us that our Vic, James Reed, left the movement to live a happy life, unlike the pent-up people in the movement. James and Dr. Phil left the movement to have fun, but they broke up and James had a new boyfriend. Dr. Phil's a stand-up dude, and he's paying for the funeral, which just so happens to be getting picketed by a bigot knockoff Westboro Baptist Church. Not Fred Phelps steps over the line, literally, and gets scooped up for trespassing, but he's quickly ruled out as having been in Nebraska when James Reed was killed. We then go to Hudson University, where we discover that James was working on a provocative master's thesis showing that reparative therapy was a sham, which takes us to a prof clinging to an archaic psychosexual belief system that hasn't advanced past Freud. Dr. Tate says he liked James Reed, but Finn wonders aloud if he wasn't pissed that Reed's thesis was going to torpedo his life's work. When leaving the office, Munch notices Tate's son walking in and connects him to photos they snagged from the funeral protesters. Benson and Stabler question Ian, who denies involvement with Reed, saying Reed was harassing him because of who his father is. Stabler checks the faulty dryer in Ian's building and finds evidence that ties Ian to the sheets James Reed's body was found in. They get a warrant and find that Ian's wall has recently been patched. Ian gets hauled off and arraigned, but as Benson and Stabler continue their investigation, they find that Ian couldn't have dumped the body because he was in the ER after being, quote, mugged. Bert Trevor shines a light on the real killer with his plaster patch reverse engineering skills and IDs the body in the wall as a male familial match for Ian, bringing us back to Dr. Roger Tate. Dr. Tate's attorney tries to claim justifiable homicide, that Dr. Tate was defending his son, despite the fact that after he got done smashing his son's lover's head through the wall, he turned and beat the shit out of his son, saying, "How could you do this to me?" Roger's attorney continues to pound the defense that Roger didn't know his son was gay. Roger gets on the stand and claims he never suspected his son was homosexual, that he loves his son despite mounting a defense hinging upon his son being a deviant. Then Novak, Benson, and Stabler get the bright idea to check in with Ian's high school fake girlfriend. Turns out her mom told Ian's dad that Ian was very depressed and clearly gay, and that he needed to find a way to be a supportive father. Novak drops the bomb that his defense is up in smoke and offers a plea deal. 20 to life at a prison of his choice. Pops knew all along and was just a homophobic prick who made his son wish he was dead. Novak sits down with Ian on a park bench. She apologizes for outing him, and Ian charges off into a brave new world, and we get Anne out and proud with daddy issues Dick Wolf.
There's so much to talk about here.
Let's just knock out the guest real quick, and then I think we need to hit all that rip from the headline shit, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of rip from the headline shit. There's multiple different headlines that they're ripping from here.
I have 4 different notes in my rip from the headline section for this, which is fucking bonkers.
I mean, the guests, too. The guests, we could talk about the guests for a very long time. Yes. First off, obviously, I think the most recognizable one probably is going to be George Segal. Yeah. He plays Professor Tate. He is obviously Jack Gallo from Just Shoot Me. And he's really playing the character as Jack Gallo from Just Shoot Me. I was expecting him to scream Dennis through an open door. every single time he was on screen. Now, he wasn't the only person playing his character from a
90s
late
sitcom?
90s sitcom. Yeah. We
Oh, yeah.
also
Michael
had
Boatman.
Michael Boatman, who was totally playing his character Carter Haywood from Spin City.
Absolutely. Like, this was, I mean, it's all the same swagger. It's everything about this character is just he's playing Carter Haywood.
Now, the ironic thing, though, is Carter Haywood was a gay man who was like the head of diversity at City Hall. So he clearly, once Spin City closed, whatever, when Michael J. Fox lost the re-election campaign or whatever, I forget how Spin City ended.
The Spin City ended with, didn't Charlie Sheen take over for Michael J. Fox?
Oh, wow.
So Michael J. Fox stepped down, like, this was when he was dealing with more
He already had Parkinson's, but couldn't keep going. Well, that makes sense. Anyways, he decided that trying to promote diversity, I guess, was a losing cause. So he went and ran as a state senator on a decidedly anti-gay message, I think.
It's kind of crazy because his character on Spin City is really one of the first characters on a network sitcom that was out and he was just gay, and that was that.
He was just gay, and like they mentioned it, but it wasn't. Was this before? I guess
it's before Will and Grace.
It's totally before Will and Grace. Roseanne had probably kissed a girl at this point, but
and Leon was already on Roseanne, probably.
Yeah,
but his character was conceived in the mid '90s, and that's sort of when you first started to have characters be able to be gay on a network sitcom. So
what I found really interesting is that they decided to have a Just Shoot Me Spin City crossover episode about a year and a half after both shows had been canceled.
Yeah. So George Segal's also in some other things. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for his turn in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Who did the painting?
That's fine.
Some Greek with a mustache Martha attacked one night in a...
It's got a...
quiet intensity.
Well, no,
in a certain noisy, relaxed quality, maybe.
No, what I meant was...
How about a quietly noisy, relaxed intensity?
Dear, you're being Josh.
He's really great in that.
Yeah.
He's also the star of Ship of Fools, California Split, A Touch of Class.
Look Who's Talking.
Yeah. He's one of the first American film actors to rise to leading man status without changing his Jewish surname, which is a note from his Wikipedia page.
Interesting.
But I mean, if you think about it, he's rising to starring status in the early 60s.
Yeah.
Most listeners probably know him from either Just Shoot Me, or he was in Flirting with Disaster, and he's Pops in the Goldbergs. He's also released 3 banjo albums.
Weird. I did not know that.
Yeah. So there's that.
I guess since we already talked about Michael Boatman,
we can add that he's got a recurring character on both The Good Wife and The Good Fight.
Yeah.
Not that anyone probably remembers China Beach, but he was also main cast on China Beach.
Michael Boatman's not just known for Spin City. At the same time he was on Spin City, he was also in Arliss as a fairly major character too, which is weird.
Yeah, I hate Arliss though, so I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I tried to watch like a segment of Arliss, and I was like, God, I remember why I didn't watch this show. This guy sucks.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad.
But he's in other stuff, The Good Wife, Anger Management, things like that, Gossip Girl. So the next kind of big character, Ian Tate, is played by Jonathan Tucker, who is probably most well known as being the poor man's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but you probably know him more from, I guess if you're Josh, most likely from Justified, but if you're the rest of us, most likely from The Virgin Suicides. At least that's where I know him from. He's kind of the main
I know him
kid.
from lots of things, dude. So he's in The Virgin Suicides. He was one of the young incarnations of the main cast in Sleepers.
Yeah.
He was also in this fucking terrible circa 2000. I think it's the year 2000, actually. He's in this movie. He's the lead in 100 Girls, and I just tried watching that. It was on Prime. Just tried watching that maybe 3 months ago, and it's just fucking brutal.
Nice.
Since this episode aired, he does more TV than anything else, and he's been in Justified. He's been in Parenthood.
Yeah.
He's been in Hannibal, which I fucking love Hannibal.
Westworld,
Snowfall. He had a whole season arc in Snowfall.
All right. So the other characters are kind of more minor, I suppose. I guess, should we just talk about them when they show up?
Well, we should probably mention, Daphne Zuniga, if you're of our age, is a big name.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
You have to be sort of in our demographic age-wise for this to be for her
or
to have
been a fan of Spaceballs, which I think you could.
Yeah, I don't actually like Spaceballs, but she was Princess Vespa. Like,
Yeah,
it's
a
an
major
iconic
character.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the female romantic lead in the Rob Reiner directed, John Cusack starring teen sex romp The Sure Thing.
Yeah.
She was also main cast in Melrose Place.
That's probably, if you were alive in the 90s, that's how you knew her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She was on from 92 to 96, so that's like, 3 or 4 seasons. 4 seasons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
For all the whippersnappers who love the CW, she was in 42 episodes of One Tree Hill. Fuck if I know what character she played, because I've never seen a second of that show. But
Not 1 second.
Nope.
Let's talk about the Fred Phelps guy right before you get to the rip from the headline shit.
Sure,
the
James
crazed
Otis.
preacher, James Otis. I really thought that he was...
A dead fucking ringer for Fred Phelps.
Yeah, but also for Steve
They both
Coogan.
have that, like...
I was like, holy shit.
Super old Steve Coogan.
It's Alan Partridge. Holy shit.
Oh!
If you gave Steve Coogan Ron Karkovice's skin.
Funny enough, I thought I recognized him not as being a Steve Coogan lookalike because, and I did, he had a very memorable 3-episode arc in DS9 as a Bajoran character named Solbor, who kind of has some interesting parallels with this in that he was like a main adjutant to Kai Wynn, who is like a Bajoran religious leader, and he gets corrupted by Gul Dukat to like serving these dark masters. What are they called? Like the something wraiths, and steal some shit, gives it to the wraiths.
Are these wraiths like the wraith in the movie The Wraith, where they are weird alien car robot guy? It's not like that?
Not car robots. They're like creatures from inside the wormhole that are infecting this guy. So he's like basically subverting the religion of the Bajorans to destroy the Bajorans, if that makes sense. So kind of interesting parallels with his character in this one, who says some outlandish shit. As a segue, let's get to the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yes. So the Church of Eternal Providence from Danville, Nebraska. No such town as Danville, but they are clearly meant to be the Westboro Baptist Church of Topeka, Kansas, founded by the thankfully dead Fred Phelps. They are not associated with any Baptist denomination. None of them would have him. And they are self-described primitive Baptists and Calvinists. They are the fuckers who picket soldiers' funerals, spew vitriolicate at the LGBTQIA+ communities. They protest Jewish organizations and are just all-around monsters. Fuck them so hard.
They're so weird, man. Fred Phelps's backstory is so strange. He ran for 4 different offices, governor of Kansas 3 times, and U.S. Senate once. He got crushed in all of those.
Yeah, I mean, he was running as a third-party candidate, right?
No, he was running in the Democratic primary each time, which is weird because, I mean, the only time he cracked 14% was when he was the only who was 2 candidates on the Democratic primary, which is very strange to me.
Wait, when was he running as a Dem, though? Was this in the 70s?
No.
Pre-Reagan?
This is, oh, shit, I just lost it.
Because, I mean, he started his church in the 50s.
Yeah, but this was much later. This was 1990 through 1998. That's when he was running.
That's bizarre.
While he had the church up and running, he was a prominent civil rights lawyer for a long time. And he actually tried a number of like fairly notable civil rights cases, kind of expanding rights to African Americans in Kansas. And he was like notably kind of targeted by sort of more traditionally white supremacist right-wing organizations. Yeah. So he has a very strange story.
That's odd.
It's not just complete scumbag lunatic. I mean, a lot of it is that, but it's not just. It's a very strange guy. He was eventually excommunicated by the Westboro Baptist Church because he eventually, apparently the story behind his excommunication goes, a prominent gay rights organization bought the property directly across the street from the Westboro Baptist Church's main headquarters and put a giant rainbow flag on the outside of the wall, or a mural or something, which is kind of awesome. So they were there was a stare down going on. There's kind of like using their tactics against them. Anyways, eventually when Phelps was very old, he apparently left the church, went outside and told all the people across the fence that he thought they were doing a great job and that they were very nice people. And for that, he was excommunicated from the church. And basically.
Because he let down the
hate for 1
fucking
second.
hate visage for Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. So moving past that shithead, Matthew Shepard, infamous case. On the night of October 6, 1998, Matthew Shepard was picked up at the Fireside Lounge in Laramie, Wyoming by Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson, who pretended to be gay to get his trust. They then drove him out to the country where they robbed, pistol whipped, and tortured him, eventually leaving him to die tied to a barbed wire fence. They then went and picked a fight with 2 Latino youths. Police arrived and found some of Matthew Shepard's belongings in their vehicle. Shepard was found by a bicyclist 18 hours later, comatose, still tied to the fence. He never regained consciousness and died in a trauma center in Fort Collins, Colorado 6 days later. Matthew's funeral was picketed by the Westboro Baptist Church. McKinney's defense attorney tried to introduce the gay panic defense but was shot down by the judge. Henderson pleaded guilty to murder and kidnapping charges and agreed to testify against McKinney. McKinney was found not guilty of premeditated murder, but was convicted of felony murder and sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole, with Shepard's parents being instrumental in helping him avoid the death penalty. Judy Shepard, Matthew's mother, has worked as an advocate for LGBT rights. The Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act was passed in 2009. If you don't know who James Byrd Jr. was, James Byrd Jr. On June 7th of 1998 was a black resident of Jasper, Texas, a famously racist town in Texas, if you know anything about Texas. He was offered a ride by 3 white supremacists, one of whom knew him from around town. Rather than take him to his destination, they drove out to the country, where they beat him severely, spray-painted his face, urinated and defecated upon him, and then chained his ankles to their truck and dragged him about 3 miles. Byrd died halfway along the route when his body hit a culvert and decapitated him and cut off one of his arms. The trio of white supremacists then dumped the mutilated remains outside of an African-American church and went off to a barbecue. Less than 24 hours after Byrd's remains were discovered, state law enforcement called in the FBI because it was such an extreme hate crime. 2 of the 3 killers had been put to death in Texas, and in 2001, Rick Perry signed the James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Act into law in Texas. And maybe the most unexpected thing that's ever brought a tear to my eye, Dennis Rodman paid for Byrd's funeral and gave his family $25,000. And Don King gave the family $100K to be put towards Byrd's children's education. So there's at least...
That was more detailed than I was expecting.
A sliver of a silver lining there.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And then D.A. Branch, who is played by Fred Dalton Thompson.
Yeah, piece of
he
shit.
says that he refers to that Texas case.
Yep, Lawrence v. Texas.
Yes, he's referring to Lawrence v. Texas, where the Supreme Court ruled that U.S. laws prohibiting private homosexual activity between consenting adults were unconstitutional, and they reaffirmed the concept of a right to privacy that earlier cases like Roe v. Wade found the Constitution provides, though not explicitly enumerated.
It's a landmark case.
Yes. And it was decided, it basically did away with all the anti-sodomy laws were null and void. So then that case was decided on June 26, 2003. So presumably it was decided just weeks before this episode was written.
Yeah. And
because this episode aired in November, but they would have started writing it in probably July.
Yeah. Lawrence v. Texas is one of the most famous Supreme Court cases of the last 50 years. And I think maybe because this episode was shot so close to when it was decided, but you wouldn't call it that Texas case. Unless
you would say Lawrence v. Texas if you were a lawyer.
Unless you were a flagrant bigot like Fred Thompson, at least his voting record is shows him to be.
His voting record really does do that. Do you have any other rip from the headlines notes?
Well, yeah, absolutely, because conversion therapy is a huge part of this.
I figured that's just so passé that I didn't bother. I don't care. It's stupid. This episode treats it like it's stupid, so I didn't want to give it any more credence than it already had.
I felt like it didn't treat it stupidly enough, because I thought that Wong in particular, the psychiatrist in the show, kind of gives it a lot more credibility than it deserves.
I don't feel like he did that at all, but maybe that's just me. I feel like he was pretty fucking dismissive of it.
I don't know, man.
I mean, Wong never gets super incensed.
To me, he was presenting it so neutrally. He was saying it was a controversial idea that had unproven effects. And he didn't say things like psychologically damaging or a massive grift. I mean, eventually the show kind of gets around to that, but I was kind of shocked that Wong in particular, because I would think that this specific issue would kind of cut close to the bone, being both a psychological issue. I guess he's not gay in the show.
He is. The character is definitely gay, but I don't know when that's explicitly established.
Okay.
But his character is gay. But this is still pretty early in his run, so I don't know that's been established 100%.
Okay. Because I was pretty shocked honestly at how neutrally they dealt with it, because I was expecting them to go a little bit harder on that.
Yeah.
That I found to be somewhat problematic. I love the cold open.
Holy shit. There are two fucking random extras, or two random bit part players who just fucking kill their scenes.
The teacher is fantastic.
Or the crossing guard.
Yeah,
she's a crossing guard.
Yeah, just fantastic.
So we open on her wishing death upon her Midtown brat charges. She's also really bad at her job.
Sure.
There's a don't walk signal behind her. Her back is to the signal, and then without looking at the signal, she turns and starts walking these kids across the street, not looking to see if traffic is coming at all. Now, I will say that on this shoot, obviously they have police down the street on both sides who have blocked off traffic, so it's not like they're actually going to be cars that would hit these people, but that's just what's happening on set. Within the framework of this scene, she has not looked both ways at all and is walking with a don't walk signal.
Well, I had kind of an issue though, because, okay, so the first line is her telling these kids that normally there would be a busy street with lots of cars and people on it. These kids live in Manhattan, right? That's the implication, that they're school children going to school in Manhattan, so they probably live there too. They probably are aware that streets have cars and people on them most of the time, and they don't need the crossing guard to explain that to them. But I do love how she's like,
Okay, no running and no pushing, please. Hope the cab doesn't splatter you all over Midtown, you little brats.
Yeah, that line's fucking fantastic.
But then, how does she know that he's dead just from a glimpse? With another issue with New York City, you would probably, especially, nowadays, things have cleaned up in the past 20 years, whatever.
But in 2003, it was still
it would not be
a reasonable expectation that that's just a homeless guy.
Yes. It's not that shocking to see somebody sleeping in the street of a major city. In San Francisco, you see it everywhere you walk. In Galveston, there are people that sleep on the streets in certain spots. It's not great.
I can safely say there are plenty of homeless people sleeping on our streets in LA right now.
Yeah, exactly. In Los Angeles,
50,000.
Yeah, and that doesn't probably even include all the people sleeping in cars and vans, right? I mean, there's a shitload of people doing that. It's not an uncommon thing. So I was just pretty astounded that she could tell just from a glance that he was dead.
Then we get Officer Marvin Bryson.
Yeah, this is clearly
holy shit.
The strongest Poochie vibes in a character that we've had since Hot Mike Sandoval.
Hot Mike Sandoval,
from episode 2 of Munchy Mike Benson.
So we get a legit, wildly inappropriate laugh line. Bryson says,
must have shown him a real good time before she did the deed.
Marvin, right now is a good opportunity for you to learn. An erection is often a side effect of asphyxiation.
Oh, yeah? Because I was going to say the guy was scared stiff.
Outstanding.
And then the stink eye that Stabler gives him is fucking priceless. It's so fucking good.
I mean, I guess I don't remember Officer Marvin's short arc on SVU, but I thought it was a little strange that Elliot was taking this guy under his wing. And
well, this is his first appearance. He's in another episode in season 5. So shortly thereafter.
He's played by Jim Titus, who
Can we get a show about him, please?
Well, he was in a movie from 2019 called Eat Brains Love, which kind of ticks all the boxes for me right there, just with the title. So I'm into that. He was also an FBI agent in the most recent season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I do not remember his appearance, but, good for him.
Okay, so then we come back to the precinct. They're breaking down the case, and Karen Browning shows up as CSU Tech Judith Syper.
Yep.
She has appeared in 41 episodes of SVU, including Haunted and Manic, both of which we covered. I straight up have no recollection of ever seeing her. Is this like a reverse Mandela effect thing going on here, where she's been reverse engineered into this thing, and my whole life, I've seen every episode of SVU. I swear to fucking God, I've never seen this person.
You've seen her a million times. She always has that like that tired competence thing going on where it feels like she's been up for 3 days while she's at the crime scene. She's great. She was in Juvenile, right? Did you just say that and I wasn't listening to you?
No, she was in Haunted and Manic.
Manic. Okay, Manic. That makes sense. As I recall, she was really good in Manic because I definitely remember her from that one.
I think I must have selective face blindness with her or something because I straight up, she showed up and I was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, we just weren't really like keen in on the CSU text when we did both of those episodes, I think. Like this was before we had that big O'Halloran episode, which...
Well, I mean, O'Halloran just draws your attention to him.
Sure.
As does Bert Trevor.
Bert Trevor. I mean, once you go Bert Trevor, you never go back, I think.
Yeah. So Hugo's bar?
Oh, the gay bar?
Yeah. Okay. So the bartender was fine. He did the thing he's supposed to do. Like, oh, it gets crazy. I don't remember shit after 10. But the bouncer...
Well, I would say that the bartender also somewhat believable as a bartender in a bar, especially a gay bar. Bouncer, not believable as the bouncer of a gay bar.
No, not at all. He is like the most New York motherfucker. Like Queens, New York.
It would not surprise you to learn that he was in 2 episodes of The Sopranos. Parts in both of them. He did not have a big role, but he was one of Junior Soprano's henchmen in an early episode of the show.
But if we move past him, doesn't it seem weird that the bouncer would be there while the bar's getting stocked and set up for the night?
Yeah, generally speaking.
Like, it's nowhere near opening. The bouncer would not be there.
Well, okay, so I actually had a whole theory about the bouncer being there. Basically, I mean, this is a mob bar. And he's not just the bouncer.
I knew you were going there.
He's not just the bouncer. He's taking the door for, the boss.
Right. Yeah.
Whoever his boss. His boss is probably some low-level shithead like Richie Aprile, rather, or somebody else of that nature, That's his job. He gets there. He makes sure that the bartenders don't actually, do a very good inventory or make sure that the liquor is not watered down, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, after Hugo's bar, he does point the way to the posters.
The posters, and I really enjoyed the posters scene. For one thing, I thought the art department did a bang-up job making that look like a legit poster wall.
I mean, it might have just been a real poster wall.
Well, they did put their poster underneath some of the other posters, so it's possible they did that.
I think it was probably localized, but it was probably
one.
That's value added.
Yeah.
With a found poster wall.
I had this dream that I was going to get in close enough to actually see what all the real posters on the wall were, but I did not do that. But I did love...
You dreamt about that?
Well,
you sort of had an idealistic vision of what you would do.
The latter. I was like, oh man, this is going to be so much material for the grist mill. But I was watching...
Because if you're dreaming about what you can do for the podcast, you've really gone down the rabbit hole.
Well, but okay. So my issue though, if I'd been watching it on my computer when I was taking notes, I probably would have been able to see some of that shit. But I was watching on my TV, and when I pause my TV, it has a bunch of stuff pop up on screen, and it kind of blurs it out, so I don't get good enough resolution to tell what's there. But I did appreciate Elliot making jokes about posters on poster walls.
He said the poster was advertising some dating service.
There wasn't Captain Zippy's Rave or Fantastic Potent Herbal Viagra.
There was funny, a lot of laugh lines from Elliot in this one.
There were, yeah.
Considering it was an episode about a guy being beaten to death for being gay, it's kind of...
By a conversion therapist.
Yeah.
So then we go to Regenesis.
We don't go there quite yet, because they see the poster of the Regenesis poster, and Olivia says, looking pretty heterosexual in the poster. Which is,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what that means. It's hard to tell somebody's gender orientation from a single image.
Yes.
Certainly one that I would not make light of were I investigating the murder of the person involved.
No, but this is early season SVU, and this is what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, so they go back, they talk about conversion therapy, and then they go to the funeral, I guess.
No, they go to Regenesis first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they go to Regenesis first.
Oh, and then they meet the doctor.
Do we really need to dive into praying the gay away?
I don't care about those Regenesis people. They weren't interesting to me.
They seem totally normal, though.
They seem like freaks, but...
Yeah.
Very repressed freaks.
He said he wouldn't have cared if James had 100 boyfriends if it made him happy, but James was happy. So it seems like Derek Singer might be projecting here a little bit.
Yeah, no, exactly. If James did have 100 boyfriends that Derek Singer knew about, Derek Singer would have hate baited his dick basically into a shredded, bloody pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some repressed sexual rage going on, both of them, I would say. So well played on their parts. I don't know who played them, and I'm not going to look it up right now.
Yeah, I don't care.
Because we go meet the doctor.
Yep.
Like, I mean, this guy seems like he has his shit together. I don't know why he would be going to a gay conversion therapy
Yeah, that
thing.
doesn't really track to me that much. He seems pretty okay with who he is, but, they supposedly met at Regenesis and then both realized, oh, this is fucking horseshit. So
but this guy's got he's got a great job. He's got fantastic hair.
Yep.
He lives in New York in the early 2000s. Doesn't seem like the kind of environment to me, like where you're hating yourself for who you love and what you're attracted to.
Right. But he tells us that James Reed was getting his master's at Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out his master's thesis was trying to prove that conversion therapy doesn't work at all. And moreover, it's just hucksters selling snake oil to people in crisis.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. Again, I'm just kind of strange that Wong wasn't the one telling us that. It had to be the, James's thesis advisor. So the thesis advisor points us in the direction of Jack Gallo, George Segal.
We do get a little weird, Stabler still clinging to a little, Christian jibber jabber, thinking that some people choose to be straight or gay.
Yes.
That didn't really work for me, but...
But then later on, Stabler comes back and he's talking
it's mostly just one scene that doesn't play right.
But I kind of believe it because he's like the Irish straight cop who, he's kind of, in a way, the most stereotyped character on the show, right?
Yeah.
Finn, Munch, and Olivia all are kind of unique characters, but Stabler and to a certain extent, Cragen are kind of written one way and then stay that way for a long time.
Right.
And Stabler's the Irish cop, Irish Catholic cop. So he's got a big family. He fucks up that family because of his job, and he has kind of traditionalist ideas about things. But when asked about if his kids, how would he feel if his kids were gay? He wasn't like, oh, I'd be pissed off. He was like, well, I haven't asked them yet, which is a good way to answer that.
I think that, in as much as he can try to evolve, he does try to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
The character is working on the SVU unit, and sometimes his latent, for lack of a better word, prejudices come into play, but he usually is able to move past them and realize, oh, that was dumb.
Yeah, and it's a good way for the show to keep some perspective about who actually is a cop in the world. They're not,
and to ensure that they're also not just preaching to the choir always, and that they can actually affect some positive change.
I think you need to have that.
If everyone was they're just preaching to the choir the whole time, the show's not that interesting. There's no conflict.
Yeah, no, which is
they're just solving cases then.
And then they add in unnecessary conflict about somebody's dumb sister from Georgia and their gambling addiction. But we don't need to get there yet because that's not in the purview of this episode. So the doctor pays for James's funeral.
Yep.
And we go to the funeral. This is where we meet the Westboro Baptist Church stand-ins.
Yeah, my note here is I can't generally get behind police brutality, but I wish for everyone's sake that one of those Westboro protesters would have stepped over the sidewalk past what the permit was for, so Finn could have gotten his wish.
Finn was good in this one, too.
I mean, he didn't have much to do, sadly.
Yeah.
But, every time he opened his mouth, it was pretty much gold.
Same thing with Munch, really. Munch had some really funny stuff.
Oh, yeah, that Christmas line?
Yeah, I love that shit. But first, I noticed all the signs that were in the protest, and obviously most of them are what you would expect if you're familiar with the Westboro Baptist Church, but there were a couple kind of oddball ones that I noted. One being God bless HIV, another one being on your knees, pray, which I guess is talking about giving blowjobs, but you had to kind of make a mental leap there.
Yeah.
And then finally, the other one was Queens for a Day, Dead for Eternity, which I also thought was kind of interesting, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not really as funny as I was hoping when I paused them. I was like, most of them are the hateful nonsense that real people use.
So I'm not going to do a count, but this episode drops the only F word I won't say a lot.
Lots of different characters say it.
It's mostly to paint people as bigots.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, this is jarring. For starters, it's just weird how the standard on this word has evolved. Because this is 2003. There's an episode of The West Wing in season 1 that drops it, and it was jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
I should probably add that this all happened on Bear's watch. Bear came out in 2014, but before that, a gay editor had called him TV's gay-friendliest writer. So I guess I'm curious to see whether this was predetermined in the room before Michelle Fazekas and Tara Butters went off to write the episode, or a different scenario played out, because it's so jarring that I wonder how it got in there.
Well, it's one of those things where standards have changed for a lot of things in pretty big
absolutely.
ways. And, there's...
I mean, Bad News Bears drops it left and right, the original from the 70s.
Yeah, or go back and watch 16 Candles now. I mean, this is a totally different thing, but the Long Duck Dong character, you can't get away with writing that in 2020.
I'm 95% sure they also drop
Oh yeah.
the F-bomb in there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just...
More than once. And fucking Farmer Ted is granted raping status.
Yes.
There's tons of fucked up shit in 16 Candles. 16 Candles is, really not watchable.
Yes. It's too bad. It was one of those movies that I watched so much as a child and didn't see it as being extremely problematic.
Jake gives up his girlfriend to be raped. She is drunk. What the fuck? Neither of them remember having sex, but then they say, oh, it must have been okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not okay.
No.
Wasn't okay.
No. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, it's getting back to this episode. It is just fucking shocking.
Yeah.
And hearing it, I mean, it has to be over half a dozen times.
At least. I didn't count it. But when you count up the signs that were on that protest, there was at least a dozen signs that had it. Shocking.
I mean, that is their URL. You know?
I understand that, but...
but it's still shocking.
Yeah, but in 2003, you wouldn't have somebody on a primetime show dropping the N-bomb at somebody.
Nope.
And in 2020, you wouldn't do either one, I wouldn't think.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure no network allows it past S&P.
No, I mean, it would be like on HBO or something, and in a situation where it's clear what is being said and who is saying it.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
So Dr. Roger Tate steps in when they figure out that Ian's the killer. Dr. Tate steps in to tell Ian to stay the fuck quiet and that he's getting him a lawyer. I think, given the fact that George Segal's in this episode, it's safe to say that he's doing that to cover his own ass, and that's pretty obvious to most viewers who are aware of who is in the cast and what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as telegraphed a play as can be. I'd like to jump to the Moonstruck Diner.
So when they interview, I just had one line from the interviewing the Fred Phelps guy. He looks completely insane in this.
Yeah.
Looks like Fred Phelps. And, in a Fred Phelpsian line, he says that God killed the NYPD on 9/11 for protecting sodomites, which is, I guess they do mention 9/11 once or twice in SVU, but it is good timing because I was actually watching this on 9/11. I know we're not going to be actually dropping this for a few more months, but
yeah, I was also watching it on 9/11.
But so it's definitely in my brain and also fucked up. But I do prefer it when he says sodomites because I feel like I can say that.
Yeah, but it's still problematic, but at least it dates back to the Bible.
Yeah, it's highly problematic, but
So, the Moonstruck Diner.
Moonstruck Diner.
It's a real business on the southwest corner of Madison Avenue and 38th, a few blocks from the Empire State Building.
Nice.
Elliot's plate just has the bun and some steak fries left.
Yes.
Are we to take it that Elliot's on Atkins?
Well, but it's like reverse Atkins, right?
No, Atkins is only protein and vegetables. So,
but that was only carbs.
The bun is remaining.
Oh.
The bun is sitting there. The fries are sitting there. But the burger has been eaten.
Ah, okay.
Or whatever was between the buns, but we all know it's a burger. Then it also looks like they have gotten onion rings for the table because there's a side plate for them.
I thought that the onion rings were closer to Liv. She's eating I thought she got a salad with the side of rings.
There's an onion ring on Novak's plate.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time looking at this table. So it looks like Casey had a BLT or something similar. I have no earthly idea what Liv is eating. At first glance, I thought it might be a tuna salad, but if it is, there is so much tuna that it could serve as a prank in too much tuna.
Look what's happened here.
Uh-oh. It's too much tuna.
It's too much tuna.
I've been pranked. It's too much tuna. You're born a schmuck and you'll die a schmuck. Welcome to hell, idiot.
I thought it was some sort of white bean, like almost like a black-eyed peas or something.
Maybe it was chicken salad or something.
Yeah.
It looked like it had sort of narrow strips of, I don't know, carrot or something in it, but in with the white weird shit.
Yeah, so it's some kind of salad, you got like your egg salad or your chicken salad, some kind of disgusting mass of mayonnaise.
Yeah, it wasn't egg salad, because egg salad generally would have the, sort of mustardy.
But it could have been a chicken salad.
It could have, yeah.
Yeah, which is just disgusting.
But it was super weird. I looked at the pics of the restaurant. It looks like they might have used this sweet, sweet TV money to get themselves a facelift. So
nice.
Good on them.
Good for them. Yeah, I mean, it looked like a classic New York diner. I appreciated it. Did we talk about Munch kind of cracking the case with his stolen camera work?
We have not, no.
So Munch steals one of the, whatever they're called, the Westboro Baptist Church people's cameras without telling anybody and without having any probable cause to do so. And then he says, I'd be happy to return it. I've even developed the film for free.
I think he said I'd, even like a hypothetical, but then he doesn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's awesome. And he's got that sweet line in there when Elliot and Benson come back from interrogating the Fred Phelps guy. He says,
I love the guy. I want to invite him to the Christmas party.
That fucking line's great.
Yeah, this is great Munch. I love witty, bitter, sarcastic Munch. It's a good Munch to be in.
I'd like to highlight Nurse Carrie Hutchins, who was played by Elizabeth Flax. She really nails it. She says,
checked in at 11:05 that night. 14-centimeter lap on his right arm, minor contusions to his torso. Said he got mugged.
Well, the precinct wasn't called until 7:30 the next morning.
Welcome to Thursday night at the Knife and Gun Club, Detective. We were slammed, and he had a long wait.
Yeah, that was really good.
Which is great. She's in 12 more episodes after this. This is her first one. So obviously they felt like she nailed it too.
Yeah, she killed it.
Then we get Bert Trevor with a CSU win.
Mm-hmm.
I like his description of the quick plaster fix. If you had a hole in the plaster, you'd put a string behind it and fucking spackle over that shit.
Dude, if I had some home improvement questions, I might call Bert Trevor. He knew shit.
He probably has a show.
Yeah.
He's probably like a YouTube home renovation guy.
Yeah, I would watch his videos and
for sure
be pissed off when he spent the first 5 minutes hawking some product or talking about how he's going to set up for doing it. And it takes me like 10 minutes to actually get to him actually doing it in classic YouTube.
Or ranting about being a 9/11 truther.
Is that what Bert Trevor does? Or is that what your home improvement guys do?
No, Daniel Sinjata is a fucking truther.
Oh my God.
I talked about this in a previous episode, but yeah, he's a truther.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting that he's in an episode that specifically mentions 9/11 when apparently jet fuel can't melt steel beams, can it?
Well, I mean, he's also in Rescue Me.
Interesting.
Which is basically just about 9/11 fallout, the whole show.
That wasn't my only good Munch line, because when they go to interview George Segal, Munch and Finn go, the first time they meet him, when they're leaving, Munch says,
If an overbearing mother and a distant father cause homosexuality, how come I'm not gay?
Maybe you're in denial.
That explains a lot.
But then immediately after that, Munch pulls one of the best Rockford moves that I've ever seen in SVU when he sees Ian Tate walk into the office, turns around and says,
Excuse me, was that Elliot Stabler?
No, that's Ian, Dr. Tate's son.
My mistake.
What was that?
I recognize him from his picture.
Yeah, I love that bit. Yeah, that's totally a Rockford move, too. That was great. So we find out that Novak bikes to work.
Yes.
I presume this is the first time we're learning of this, as it's her fourth episode. As Casey Novak, of course, not as Amelia Chase.
Yeah, so they needed to do something that did involve rope burns on her neck.
Autoerotic asphyxiation, yeah. So jumping way ahead to the trial, because generally when the episodes get to this point, there's not as much to talk about.
Exactly.
You know, all of the notes to talk about are when they're setting up the stage.
It's usually the first 20 minutes, and it gets to the trial, and it's just like, well, maybe there's a fun line or something crazy happens, but rarely.
Yeah, so my notes are pretty sparse from here on out. But Michael Boatman says, so he's only violent when defending you? And I'm sort of like, how do you explain when he turns and beats the shit out of Ian there? You know, the thing you were just talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that was just established on the stand?
Mm-hmm. I have a few other things. This was from earlier. So first off, we first meet Ian, right? One more note about Jonathan Tucker is that Jonathan Tucker played a character in an episode of Criminal Minds named Ray Donovan. So it's weird that this episode of SVU is revealing that Ray Donovan is a Criminal Minds spinoff. That's a random aside. When they're doing their whatever.
Well, and Ray Donovan's from Boston and so is Jonathan Tucker, so that tracks.
Yeah, exactly. Jonathan Tucker, born in Boston. Good point. Thanks for noticing that. Now, when they're searching Ian's apartment, and Olivia finds the kind of dent in the plaster where it had been patched up, and Elliot comes and looks at it, and I just love the way he gleefully says, "Got a saw? Bring it!" I don't know why they had him it's just so effusive saying that. A lot of fun. Anyways, we didn't talk about Daphne Zuniga yet in her character, because she says an extremely problematic line when we first meet her. Her and Novak are arguing. Daphne Zuniga just shouts, "If a woman has an orgasm when she's raped, does that mean she really wanted it?" Which, again, this is the only place you're going to hear dialogue like that on television, especially on network television. But Jesus Christ, how many times have we had an episode kind of obsessed with rape fantasies? How many times? We almost need a rape fantasy air horn to go with our prison rape air horn. We just did an episode where they introduce one of the major characters while she's acting out a rape fantasy in a public stairwell.
It's like you're creating more work for me.
Anyway.
Because this is my fucking episode, and you have no idea how long that goddamn prison rape air horn. I spent seriously like probably 5 hours just like there's like 9 different samples that are in there.
It's beautiful. I love it. I relish every time I get to use it. Am I the only one that thinks that Gay Panic Defense could be a good like gay EDM band? You know, like Gay Panic Defense is playing Ibiza 2011, something like that.
Yeah, and Idris Elba is going to open for him.
Oh yeah. Is Idris Elba a band?
He's DJ.
Oh, he is? Nice.
Yeah, he has a Netflix show about basically him being a DJ.
Oh my God.
That he's the creator of.
Oh my God. Of course he is. Would love to be...
I kind of liked it, honestly. But
the crew on that one.
Yeah, and he's in Ibiza a lot.
Is he better than the Goldman Sachs CEO as a DJ?
Surely. He has videos. Now, fuck. God damn it. Now I've got to cut a goddamn... Okay, here's the Idris Elba song.
Yeah, you did that to yourself, dude. When Novak bikes up, I love her and Michael Boatman's repartee when she says, "I remember your name. State Senate elections. I didn't vote for you."
Yeah. And then if you're trying to court the conservative vote, this isn't the guy. Like, this isn't your guy to defend. This is all awesome. Yeah, their banter is pretty great, honestly. Like, I thought Boatman was awesome.
Yeah, Boatman's great. He's in several of these. I think they liked him enough that they got him back. I mean, he's good in Spin City. That's where I remember him from.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. To me, he's the standout character on Spin City. But
Spin City is a show I have not watched since the 1990s.
I saw it like 15 years ago.
Okay. But, I mean, Just Shoot Me, I actually watch Just Shoot Me nowadays, occasionally.
That's super weird to me.
But I totally believe that Ian would be one of Jack Gallo's kids that just, it doesn't show up on the show very often. You know, like, unlike Maya, he's not particularly well loved because, you know, he's not played it by quite as good of an actress.
Is David Cross one of Jack's kids?
In the show?
Yeah.
You're talking about David Spade.
No. David Cross is in an episode where he's been faking that he's mentally disabled.
Oh my God, I gotta watch this one.
For like his whole life.
That's great.
I remember it being really funny. I'm sure it's wildly inappropriate now.
You know, actually, I gotta say that Just Shoot Me has a bunch of wildly inappropriate things. The Elliot character, who is the photographer.
Yeah, Enrico Colantoni.
Yeah.
Keith Mars.
Very casual attitude towards date rape, essentially, is kind of his character. That's who his character is. I've seen most of the first 2 seasons at this point recently, and I would say I've seen at least 5 Trump references where Jack Gallo talks about what a good friend he is with Donald Trump. Obviously, long before 2016.
So he's a rapist.
Yeah, not surprising that he would be a rapist scumbag. All right, so I don't have any notes from the trial.
I've got a few. Man, Dr. Raj really fucked Ian up, which is him on the stand.
Yeah.
That's what inspired that note. Then I've got Dr. Cahill's affected speech patterns are super weird. The second time I was watching, I was typing away, and Jack and I both started laughing at her voice.
Yes, same.
She sounds sort of like Catherine O'Hara's Moira on Schitt's Creek. That's obviously a joke accent. This, not so much. It's sort of like she's going for that hoity-toity mid-Atlantic thing, but she careened off the runway and landed somewhere between Moira and Jennifer Jason Leigh and the Hudsucker Proxy.
Yeah. I also had a note, they were talking to Ian, and they said, "You even made up a girlfriend, didn't you?" I think Michael Boatman says that to him. And I said, well, he actually made up like 5 of them, and they all killed themselves tragically. But that's from a different film.
Okay, so then how fucking insane was it that Ian's faux girlfriend's mom outed Ian to his dad?
I know, that's not cool. That's actually not cool at all.
No. Laura Klein tells Pops to nut up. I mean, it's fucked up to out someone, but at least she was trying to do the right thing, unlike Dad when he murdered his boyfriend and beat the shit out of him for being gay.
That's true. I mean, the right thing would have been to offer Ian support and offer him maybe some resources to maybe get to a better place where he could then talk to his own father about the issue and not just totally like burn a bridge to somebody that actually cared for him and was willing to like go out and help him. And she essentially burned that bridge because then Dad, Tate, never wanted to see her again.
Yeah. My next note is I can tell Adam's not going to like Jonathan Tucker's performance.
No.
I kind of liked it though.
No. So, again, we've already kind of discussed, it's not for me to say, unlike Olivia Benson, it's not for me to say whether somebody looks straight or gay or not, but Jonathan Tucker, he doesn't play very much of anything to me. He kind of just seems like a empty vessel. A post with a good haircut is how I describe him.
And I've seen a lot more things with him, I think, than you have. So, I mean, you haven't seen Snowfall.
No.
You haven't rewatched Justified in the last year.
No, I mostly think of him as the main kid from Virgin Suicides, is how I think of him.
Which I haven't fucking thought of that movie since I saw it. I kind of see him a lot, and so I'm used to him, and I didn't have any problems with this. But I think that to someone who's putting relatively fresh eyes on Jonathan Tucker, that his sort of resting expression, it's not a smile, but it looks like it, sort of undercut some of his performance.
I call him poor man's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which I've already described. But
and then my last note is the park bench scene between Novak and Ian was nice.
Guys are so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, she concurs.
I agree.
Yeah.
I call it a not sorry Dick Wolf because, I think, honestly, let's get one thing straight. If you're going to be a young, extremely attractive gay man, what better place to be than in mid-2000s New York City, right? You're not actively being persecuted by very many people in Manhattan, and you've probably got just an outstanding network of bars and social activities and whatever kind of crazy, freaky shit you want to get into.
And the housing market's only starting to go off the rails.
Yeah, you could still afford, you could still
afford to live there.
Mm-hmm. That's sort of. I mean, not really, but more than you could now.
Yeah, now it's impossible.
And also, he's come clean with his bullshit. He doesn't have to live in the shadows anymore. More power to him.
But I really think it's an out and proud with daddy issues, Dick Wolf.
I agree with that. We have some segments to do. I have one small segment about New York state of mind. And this is the first time in SVU where I think housing comes across with a degree of verisimilitude. And that's when Finn describes his housing situation. So they're talking about a shitty dryer and white walls. And Finn says, white walls and a bad dryer? That sounds like my house. I was like, well, that makes sense.
Yep. That was another nice Finn line. Yeah, I definitely laughed when that happened.
All the main cast I thought did a good job in this one. Cragen was hardly in it, but everybody else was really good. But let's rank this thing. So every week we rank the episodes. This is a way for us to kind of keep track of how these things add up with each other. We have a 1 through 10 scale on 4 criteria. The 4 criteria are quality overall, how good the guest performances were, how problematic it was, 0 to 10, 10 being highly problematic and fun, 0 being either boring or kind of more cringe than fun, I guess.
Or just not problematic.
Just not problematic, yeah,
like
exactly.
Just a straightforward episode that's not especially problematic.
And then,
or the problematicness is garbage.
Yeah, and then the final one being the depth and breadth of lives ruined. So in that case, we want to see, for a high score, that is, we want to see lots of people being affected by the episode in tragic, terrible ways. Can we just start there with that last one? Because I think this one...
That's where this box doesn't get checked.
Yeah, well...
No, I guess there are more because we're talking about conversion therapy.
Yeah, and we definitely have... Many people have been through the conversion therapy, whatever, regenesis. Uh-huh. My understanding of conversion therapy is it's generally just a grift for people to steal your money and give you a lifetime of psychological problems, guilt and self-loathing, stuff like that. And
it's basically taking Catholicism and ramping it up to like a 900.
Yeah, And then also you've got, these psychotic Calvinists that are basically showing up outside people's funerals and tormenting
tormenting people who are already in crisis,
the mourners.
Going through grief.
We've got, obviously, the dead man.
Yeah, James Reed. We've got, I don't feel bad about George Segal's character.
No.
Going to prison for 20 years. You'll be in prison and die there.
Rarely am I pro-prison, but, this character definitely has few redeeming qualities. And, if there is justice, he should have it.
Yes.
So, I don't think it's high on this scale, but I don't think it's a 1. Besides the dead man, most of the people's lives ruined are not people that we actually know about.
Right. The conversion therapy people who are being duped, they're not really in the episode.
Yeah, the 2 people that we see seem like strangely kind of honest about what they are looking to get out of conversion therapy, which is a little weird. The doctor certainly seems to be doing great, and he was somebody that went through it. And so he even said, I had a good experience because it taught me that was bullshit and I could love who I am.
Ian's life is sort of...
But
he ends on a high note, but it's not like there's not psychological fallout from having been raised by such a fucking prick.
Yeah, definitely. But for the first time in his life, he can be honest about who he is.
He's free of him because his dad's in prison and killed his lover.
Yeah, well, when you put it that way. So, what do you think? 3? You think this is a 3?
It's probably at least a 4. It's just covering too much ground to not be at least a 4. Even though much of the fallout is happening off screen, it's still happening.
Yeah, so a 3 was that Brenda Blethyn, Mike Farrell one.
No, it's way worse than that.
Yeah, I'd agree. So 4. 4. Yeah. We've done some 4s. The last one we did was a 4. I don't want to remember that one.
I don't remember what it was. We just did it a week ago.
Yeah, Chasing Demons. It was the Winters episode.
Fucking hell. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, no shit. But also Trade, which we covered in Nothing Screams Cancun Spring Break like moose antlers. That was also a 4.
And that's a great episode.
Great episode. Kind of different way to get that math done. But yeah. This might be the rapiest bar in New York City was a 4. Also, that was Consent. Anyways, so let's get to the next one. How problematic was this episode? Because this was a highly problematic episode.
Wildly.
But was it fun? It doesn't matter for how we're ranking this because it definitely said some stuff that made me uncomfortable. For sure.
A lot
of
stuff. I don't feel great as a cis white male saying like, oh, this is fun problematic.
Yeah.
I will say that the showrunner, Neil Baer, was a closeted gay man at the time.
Interesting. Well, maybe...
Which adds a different weird wrinkle to all of this. He was doing this for a very specific purpose. Mm-hmm. And I think, he's probably exercising some of his own demons here.
Yeah. But do you think he was just professionally in the closet or do you think he was...
He came out to his son in 2014.
Wow. Okay, wow.
He came out in 2014.
Okay.
I know I don't remember when his relationship ended, but I know he'd been in a straight relationship for some portion of his life.
Wow. That's what I mean. It's highly problematic. It's not, and again, we kind of laugh about some other things that are pretty terrible too, so...
We do. I think ultimately, like, the problematic things are coming from the right frame of mind for the most part.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that's ultimately what sort of allows us to look at the problematic stuff and be not horrified by it.
Yeah.
It's still horrifying, but it's in an attempt to...
It wants you to be horrified, I suppose.
Yeah, it wants you to be horrified. So I think if we can look at it from that perspective, it's obviously a very high score on this front.
But we can't give it like top marks because it's not...
It's not that fun. But it's at least a 6, right?
Oh, at least. I was going to say a 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
I was just going to keep it down from the 9 or 10 just because we kind of reserve that for fun.
Yeah, it's not that fun, but yeah, it's got to be high. A 7 or 8, yeah.
It's a 7 or an 8. I think we could say... So 8 was...
My initial inkling was a 6.
Okay.
And so if you're thinking 8, let's just settle at 7.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. 8 was Hunting Ground, which we covered in Amaro's Peculiar Sense of Smell, was an 8.
That's a Long Island serial killer episode.
And this is kind of problematic in a similar way. It's problematic in a not fun, but pretty dark way. Forces you to confront that shit.
That one also has police doing terrible work.
Yeah.
All of that. Like,
it's fun stuff in there, too. Okay, let's do 7. 7 works.
Yeah. Cool.
7 works. And then, okay, so the guest performances, the guests do a lot in this one. And there are good guests and there are bad guests, I would say. But I would say overall, this is definitely like above average. Even though I have been watching Just Shoot Me recently on occasion. So George Segal kind of pops to me as like, oh my God, that guy's really famous. I don't think he's that famous to people that aren't me, that aren't watching late 90s TV shows just as they're falling asleep.
He's the grandpa on the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch it, but a lot of people do.
Yeah. And Jonathan Tucker, same way. I don't think he's super famous, but if you are interested in specific things, he's highly recognizable. Daphne Zuniga might be like the most recognizable person if you are watching TV.
Two people of our generation.
Yeah, exactly. But none of them are like mega famous, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, they're not superstars. So
I mean, George Segal has was nominated for an Oscar.
True. I thought for the most part they were all good. Michael Boatman's great. Obviously, he came back.
I would strongly recommend people watch the George Segal, Elliot Gould, Robert Altman movie, California Split, that should still be on Amazon Prime.
Oh, was that good?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, and you should also watch Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, because that movie's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good.
I mean, Mike Nichols, that's his first fucking movie.
Wow. He had some good actors.
Great source material and great actors, but that's his first fucking movie. Jesus.
Man.
Everyone should watch Who's Afraid of Virginia.
So fucking good. All right, so guess. Number. What's a number?
6.
Yeah, 6 works. They're really good. Yeah. Really good. Not as good as they can be.
Yeah, and Boatman's a ton of fun.
Boatman's great.
But I think Zuniga sort of doesn't do much here.
No, and you knew how I was going to feel about Jonathan Tucker before.
Yeah, we're split on Jonathan Tucker, so.
And George Segal, the thing about George Segal is that the instant he shows up in this, you know that he's going to have been the perpetrator. This is definitely that period of SVU where the most famous person obviously did it.
It's the perp.
Yeah, and it's not even a question. So overall quality, what do you think? I thought it kind of stopped being as thrilling as soon as it got to the court, which is often the case in SVU. They just have never figured out how to do that as well as they did in the original series.
Well, the way to do it is to go around it all and do trade.
Yeah. Have the court, have it go backwards. Some of the more fun ones where it's like the court has, what do you mean? Like trade lawyers? Get Angie Harmon?
No. I'm saying trade the episode.
Yeah.
Where the ending is so shocking that you're just like, what the fuck just happened?
Exactly. Well, and they didn't do it like the TOS, the law part, and then the order part. They didn't do the half a show being in the courtroom, which always just kills SVU.
Yeah, SVU is not built to do that.
No matter how good Cabot or Novak are, the show works because of Benson and Stabler, and then whoever else she's playing off of. But it's like those relationships are what make the show work, not the there's no Angie Harmon Jack McCoy relationship which makes or Stone and Robinette from seasons 1 through 3. Right. Anyway, so what do you think? 5?
Yeah,
I thought it was average. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. No, I think it's at least average. But I'm not going to argue for more, but my inkling was to say probably a 6 or a 7, but I'm fine with 5.
I mean, we can put it at a 6. I'm fine with a 6.
Okay.
If you were thinking 7.
Well, I was thinking 6 or 7.
we'll do 6. I was thinking 5 or 6. So
yeah, that's
kind of
fine.
works.
6.
Because I don't know.
I think it's above average. I don't think it's a 5.
Yeah.
I think the overall score is over a 5, and I'm sure that's where we are right now.
Yeah, it had really good under 5s. It had
really great under 5s.
It had a lot of heavily ripped from the headline stuff.
Yeah,
which I don't know. For me, somehow the rip from the headline stuff always kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth because you have to get it so right when you're doing that, especially with such a hot button issue that it's hard to let the plot and the writing and the actors just kind of breathe, I guess. And so I think the most fun ones are always going to not be those just immediately rip from the headlines ones. Those are always going to be a little bit more dicey. Like unless you get one like with the episode where they have the Michael Jackson stand-in hanging the baby off the window. Remember that one? That one's fun. I don't know. Anyways, so that gives us a composite score of 5.75. Above average.
That's about where it should be.
Above average, in line with, weirdly enough, right in line with Underbelly, Tramp Stamp Stop and Frisk, getting there in a totally different way. This one being kind of more professional and upsetting. That one being wildly inconsistent, but with...
Wildly inappropriate.
But in the fun way. For whatever reason on Munch My Benson, we're much happier when the show is ridiculously over-sexing 14-year-olds than we are with it just engaging in really...
I don't think I feel good about that.
Flagrantly hateful language. I'm kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, I don't know how I feel about that. I might have to cut that out. Anyway.
I'm kidding. No, I'm obviously kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, there's so much problematic shit in Underbelly. Anyway. I mean, Connie Nielsen's accent.
Yeah, Connie Nielsen's accent alone. Anyway, so that gives us 5.75. Is it time to roll another episode?
Yes.
So we don't put my foot in my mouth again?
Yeah. Okay, so firing up the randomizer brought to you by Flet. So episode.lol for anyone who wants to do this on their own and start their own
Which
podcast.
I have used episode.lol for my watching CI needs.
For your own podcast that you record just for yourself?
No podcast, just for my enjoyment, because I didn't want to actually like read through the descriptions and pick one.
Yeah, right. No, I get it.
Every time I do that, that leads to me watching the Neil Patrick Harris Cannibal episode. Like, I've watched that episode like 5 times.
I've seen it. It's good.
I guess.
It's good. Yeah.
But every time I'm like,
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like if we were going to do a Patreon and, had to like build it around other things, that would be one of the first things we should do for like a special video.
Highly problematic. It's so fucked up. He drills holes into their skulls and pours scalding water into their spines.
Yeah. I mean, it's Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. God. Anyways.
And that would be good to pair with the cannibal episode of the IT Crowd.
Man, speaking of other things that are harder to enjoy in 2020.
Yeah, I know. Fucking Graham Linehan. God
what
damn
a piece of shit.
Fucking turf motherfucker. Anyway, episode.lol firing up the randomizer. Videotape is going around. And it is giving us Unstable. This is the first episode of season 11. Officer Nate Kendall aids a woman in trouble and becomes roped into solving a rape case. While detectives Elliot Stabler and Olivia Benson believe that Kendall is not right for the case due to his unstable personality, Executive ADA Sonia Paxton joins the team, bringing evidence of a common thread among 3 other rape cases. With Paxton's help, the team might expose a serial rapist. I'm going to double check this, but I'm pretty sure that Sonia Paxton is
Christine Lottie. Who else is in this?
Mahershala Ali is in it. He's credited as his full first name, which is Mahershala Hashbaz Ali.
Yeah.
I butchered that, I'm sure. Wentworth Miller is playing Officer Nate Kendall. So, I mean, Christine Lottie has a bunch of Emmys, I believe, for Chicago Hope. It's also got Mahershala Ali, he has 2 Oscars now, doesn't he?
He has 2?
I believe so. Yeah, he's got 2. He won for Green Book and he won for Moonlight. So he won for one good movie and one fucking awful movie. I guess I got to fill in the gaps for people. Moonlight was good.
Yeah.
I don't want people misconstruing that statement and thinking that I liked Green Book. Fuck
you
that.
You love Green Book. I just watched Who Is America? The Sacha Baron Cohen show, and in it he was playing he plays like the Reed College professor, the most irritating liberal guy, and he's interviewing these 2. Like one's like a gangster rapper from Atlanta and the other one's like a kind of right-wing state senator. And he's asking both of them what their favorite scene of Moonlight was. And neither one of them had seen it. And he's like, you haven't seen Moonlight? You haven't seen Moonlight? Anyways, we should get going, Josh. I have a wife and child that
and I've got an hour and a half long episode to cut down.
There's a lot of inappropriate things that we said, I'm sure, that can be cut out. So
yeah. Gonna have to censor ourselves, I guess.
So until then, munch my Benson, man.
Yeah, munch my Benson too.
What did you get from the people at Reed's funeral?
Not much. After the fight broke out, a bunch of people left before we got their names.
Yeah, but we got their pictures.
Where the hell is that from?
One of Reverend Shaw's church members. He must have left it behind.
I didn't hear that.
Get it back to him, John.
I'll be happy to. I'll even develop his film for free.